My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I'm a psychologist for over 20 years. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get over narcissists for real. It's a Saturday, so I was just taking my time this morning and I watched a few videos about narcissism. And I was like, I have over 800 videos on my YouTube channel about how to get over narcissism, but indirectly. This is what I've been teaching this whole time without even naming it that. I don't have tags, narcissism and all that in my other videos. Not very often, but all of these other videos are focused on them and focused on their and how we're narcissistic supply for them, and how to go no contact, and all of these things about how they manipulate us. But there's so much focus on, and they're very helpful. I'm not saying they're not helpful. They're helpful, but what I've noticed, and this is why I've been going about it this way, but I haven't explained it explicitly. I haven't said this is why I do it this way, is your egotism is like a narcissist, all right? And so if you're constantly serving your own egotism, and another way to understand that is, if we all have this wounded child from childhood, and if that wounded child keeps directing your life, then I got this image yesterday where it's like you're driving a horse-drawn carriage, and all of a sudden the horse is taking the driver's seat and driving you. This is what happens when your egotism runs your life. The egotism is always in lack. It's never satisfied. It has all the same qualities of a narcissist. I wrote them all down here, but this is from the I got it from reading The Power of Now. I don't know how many times I've read it. A lot of times. Eckhart Tolle's book. I just got back from a 6-day, like a week-long conference with him. And so what I teach and what I know, because I've had to work really hard to get out of the narcissists in my life, to get rid of that behavior, that pattern that, you just get sucked into and you become a part of, and you keep trying to please the narcissist, and then you're their supply, their narcissistic food, and then they keep trying to control you and manipulate your emotions and all of the things that happen that are so toxic. But when all these people are describing, you have to be emotionally neutral, you have to learn how to be detached. Well, the way to do that is to learn how to differentiate yourself from your own egotism. Understand, identify the egotism. I'll read some of these things because they're general as well. And I credit Eckhart Tolle for pointing them out. I just conglomerated them all in one place. It's this need for power, this need for attention, for more. He's describing the egotism, right? And doesn't this sound just like the narcissist? For attention, for more, to feel superior, to reject rather than feel rejected. It has to have this moral superiority. And so it criticizes, it has negative judgment of others, belittles others, their possessions, their knowledge or abilities. Its underlying emotion is fear, right? This is the egotism of being nobody, of non-existence, of death. All its activities are to diminish this fear. And it only works temporarily. Now, this means that when we direct all of our attention towards building up this false personality of ourselves, like let's say we have this shamed, wounded child, inner child. Why do you think we go to the narcissist in the first place? They're charismatic. We think that something out there is going to heal this thing in here, this inner child. But guess what? We're operating in egotism. When you learn how to shift out of that, right? And I have so many tips on that. I have like hours and hours, thousands of hours of videos, I'd say, on how to do this and what this looks like. But I want to equip us today with this video, right? I don't want to always be referring to those. But one is understanding, you have this essence when you're first born, right? And like imagine yourself in your mom's stomach, and you know yourself as just this soul essence beyond your skin color, beyond your religion that you're going to name yourself by later, or your your identity, your outer personal identity. It's just this essence. Now, this guy, Dr. Maurice Nicole, described it like a chicken and egg. So it's like if you're um, this baby chick, let's say, and your outer personality forms when you're, by the time you're 5 years old, you have this personality, and it is this persona that you have to keep, working to prop up in this life. I mean, our world teaches us to do that. Now, in order for your essence to shine through again, it's like this chick in the egg. It has to eat the egg white, right? You have to eat your personality for your essence to become alive again. You have to disidentify with this personality, this ego personality, present day personality form that you've created around yourself. That's not you. It's like an avatar that you've believed in and you've invested in. The more you are buying into this ego self and the less you know yourself, some people call it as the deeper I, as your soul self, as your baptized self, as your redeemed self, as one that can be filled with the Holy Spirit of God. Like there's lots of different names for disidentifying with your egotism. I hope you're following this. This is really deep, and it's simple but complex because there's layers here. But understand, the more this animal of your egotism is driving you like a horse getting into the horse and buggy, instead of you being the driver directing the horse with the reins, then the egotism is getting on and directing you, then that makes us susceptible to the narcissist and keep thinking that our happiness and our healing and our joy and all of that is going to come from this external source. That's why we're drawn to them in the first place. This is why I'm like, why don't we heal this at the root? I always want to go to the root. If you heal this at the root, then you don't have to watch 1,000 videos talking about what the narcissist does, what they like, what they don't like, and all this energy focused on them. Your world is still around them. Now, I understand this really deeply because, every time it seems like I get triggered by somebody else, it's because of a narcissistic relationship I had in my childhood, And it's like, how long does this person get to run my life? How long do they get to run it through other people triggering me in the same way as when I just felt crushed again as a child? So I understand equipping yourself with the narcissist videos. I'm not saying not to do that, but I'm saying, why not learn how to stop operating from egotism? Egotism is always in lack. It always needs more. It never feels like it's enough. It's always about running from shame. And what are we doing that we go to narcissists? We're going because we feel ashamed and we feel like they're going to fill us up. And so we keep trying to fill them up so that they can fill us up, And we're these victims. And I was listening to this book about codependency no more, and she was talking about how this 33-year-old woman who had 5 children died of old age at that age because she just kept trying to fill everybody else up. But what was she trying to do? Do you know what I mean? We're scared of being silent and entering into the silence, and we imagine that we'll just be rejected all over again, But what if that whole, and don't worry about if this sounds religious to you and you're not religious, but imagine for a second, what if that whole verse about be still and know that I am God, that I am the I am, that I am divine love, that look at it a different way. Look at it, because I know that we can project that God is a giant narcissist as well. So that's why I'm hesitant sometimes to even bring up God and all of that stuff. But what if What if we all have access within ourselves? You know, the kingdom of God is within you, to love, to divine love. And what if the way to get to that is to be silent? And what if when we're silent, all of these insecurities come up and we feel like we're going to be rejected again? And so we neurotically run after watching a bunch of narcissist videos. And, you know, I mean, if you could see right now, I mean, I don't want to flip my camera around. I have journals and journals and journals and note. I have probably 100 journals in here of notes that I've taken and so many books. I'll show you some of the books, all of those books. But I have a whole, and there's the journals. I have a whole wall of books in my garage and in my office. And so I've been studying this for so long, and it's just like, how long do we have to do this? What if we enter the silence and then let what comes up, and then get past that? And then you get to this love place, and you know love, and you're quiet in your life, and you are detached, and you're not invested in the narcissist, and you don't care about running after them or running away from them, or the cutoff comes natural to you, because be still and know that I am love, that you have access to love, that you're worthy of love, that you are always worth love, that you can know this love. And when you know this love and experience this love, then, you know, I'm not saying you need to buy anything or watch any more of my videos or anything. I'm not saying you need anything external. It's just, you know, I mean, I watched this guy, John Butler, and he talks about 20 years he learned how to meditate. It took him 20 years, and he's been doing it for 60 years now, you know? And it's just like, and now, you know, millions of people are going to watch his videos just because he's teaching you how to be silent and enter into this silence. Our mind, our egotism, always thinks there's another solution around the corner, and it goes after things neurotically. I understand that path, but the more we let that part of ourselves run us, instead of knowing our essence, our soul self, this quiet place, this take a deep breath and find out for yourself if love is on the other side. All of this stuff will surface at first, and it's very scary at first. I know it is. It's very painful. I say in some of my videos, it's been like, you know, I had to cry, the tears, like Niagara Falls, it feels like, to get to the other side of tears. But I want you to have a solution that lasts. I want you to have one that doesn't keep you in duality, keeps you pinging and ponging and you know, just staying in egotism, going after more and more and more and more and more solutions, when the solution is right here. It's right here. And it could be sounding like I'm just saying words right now, because it's taking you back to this higher, this oneness, this divine love from which we came. And so the mind that we live in lives in duality and explains like that other tree, that tree out there, and me. It explains things in separateness. So it's really difficult to put into words what I'm explaining for us, what I'm describing for us. But I want you to know it's possible, and I want you to know that as far as what I've found, this is the direction to move in, is towards this stillness, towards letting your own egotism go through the dark night of the soul, the ego death. And that's the only way I have found to cut off the narcissists and not have a desire to go back to them or invite them back into my life. All right, I wish you so much love. I hope this made sense. Ask lots of questions, and I'll be glad to answer. Your questions will bring up the right answer for me to give you. I wish you so much love.